Awesome. Thank you so much for joining in. Um, just make use of the chat box as well to tell us how you feel today. How do you feel? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel excited? Just one word to describe how you feel today. Just make use of the chat box and describe your feeling for today. Or you are feeling pumped up and enthusiastic about this session, you can just use the chat room to describe that. Let's do that urgently. Go to the chat box, use one word to describe how you feel today. Nobody? No, somebody has to. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Hi. Good afternoon. It's good to have us around. It's 2 p.m. and yes, we moved by 2 p.m. exactly. Hopefully, others will be joining us soonest as soon as possible. But it's good to have us around. It's good to have us around. Um, I was telling those that were here earlier to drop just one word to describe how they are feeling today. But now that we have more people on the call, you can just make use of the chat box and just use one word to describe how you feel today. How do you feel being here today? Do you feel excited? Do you feel pumped? How exactly do you feel? Sorry. So, hopefully, please do go to mute your mic. I would appreciate that. Kindly mute your mic. Mr. Anyika203 at gmail.com. Kindly mute your mic. If you are joining in now, please do well to mute your mic. Very, very important. Please be mindful of your mic so that it won't cause any form of distraction. I would appreciate as you're joining in, please mute your mic. And in the course of the conversation, please do well to be mindful of your mic. It's very, very important. So I was asking a question for those that were joining in. I was asking the questions for those that were joining in, using one word to describe how you feel today. And I already got some responses. Somebody's feeling good, somebody's feeling excited, somebody's feeling amazing. Very interesting. So for those that are joining in, please do well make use of the chat box to tell us how you are feeling today. I mean, just one word. You don't need to write a paragraph, right? Just a word to describe how you are feeling today while we wait for others that will be joining us on the call. In the meantime, I'm just going to reiterate on the reason why we are here. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Esther, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. It's our delight, and it's so wonderful to have us here. I mean, we are here basically for one thing. Our theme is breaking into tech, the skills, the mindset, and the career part that matter in 2025. You will agree with me that we are in the digital world and every time we are evolving. So right here, right now, and in this particular session, it's our utmost delight to, have a brainstorming session, to have an insightful session because we have wonderful speakers in the house and professionals who will be deep diving with us into wonderful session that we have for today that just have to do with you breaking into tech, what is required of you, and then daunting questions that might be in your mind that would be provide that would address and they will provide answers to. So in the course of the conversation, if you have any question, I'll be dropping a link whereby you just go to the link, click on the link, and whatever questions you have, just do well to just answer, to ask your questions whatsoever. And as much as possible, we'll try to address them. So we have more people joining in on the call, more people joining in on the call, more people joining in on the call. Welcome, everybody. It's good to have you around. It's good to have you around. We are waiting for a whole lot of people, and we don't want anybody to miss this session because it's power packed, it's tech packed, and it's insightful packed. Very, very interesting session. In the meantime, I want us to do one more activity. You'll be telling us where you are joining us from. If you are joining us from here in Nigeria, where in Nigeria you are joining us from, Abuja, Nigeria, Port Harcourt, Nigeria, Ibadan, Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. So kindly do well. I've dropped the link. Kindly do well. Just click on the link and it's going to take you directly to where you're going to answer this question. Where are you joining us from? I'll be sharing my screen in a bit so that it's going to tell us what you'll be seeing on, from where you'll be joining. You'll be seeing the feedback of what will be displaying. Where are you joining us from? So just click on the link I dropped in the comment section and then tell us where you're joining us from. I would appreciate that. It will actually help us to know those who are connecting with us and the location where they are joining us from. Please do well, click on the link and tell us where you are joining us from. In the meantime, if you know anybody that ought to be here and is yet to be here, just do what to help us extend a reminder to them that we are here, we are live, and we are ready. We are here, we are live, and we are ready. If you have any question, I would appreciate if you make use of the chat box to ask whatever questions you'll be having. Housekeeping rules. If you have questions, do well. Questions concerning maybe modalities of the program, do well to make use of the chat box. Questions concerning conversation we'll be having, I'll be dropping a link where you'll be asking these questions. We are going to make use of them. And then also, please do well to be mindful of the mic that you'll be making use of. All right, it's 5 minutes after 2, so I guess we'll just go right into what we have for today. So interestingly, we have two wonderful speakers with us, as you probably might have seen in the invitation emails extended to you. We have Olayemi Awofe and we have Mayowa. And in the moment, I would be reading out their bio so that you have an idea of the wealth of experience and knowledgeable, how knowledgeable our speakers have for this particular session. Olayemi is a business intelligence developer, a data analyst, and a fabric data engineer. He's a Microsoft certified fabric analytics engineer and a Microsoft certified Power BI data analyst. He has 3 years of experience in data analysis and 1 year of experience in data engineering. Olayemi is also a seasoned trainer, having trained over 300 individuals in data analysis and in various analytics tools. I hope we are putting our thoughts together for this wonderful bio. And our second speaker, Mayowa, a graduate of mechatronics engineering and currently the software developer and team lead at Best Technologies Limited. With over 7 years of experience, he has worked extensively across fintech, e-commerce, crypto, and various other sectors of software development. His expertise spans across full stack development, DevOps, machine learning, embedded system, and Internet of Things. Interestingly, Mayowa is passionate about building intelligent, scalable solutions and leading teams that bring innovative products to life at the intersection of software and hardware. Very interesting, right? So we'll just go straight into what we have today. So what we have to do is we ask questions, daunting questions that we think will be in the minds of, youths, that will be in the mind of people, especially when it comes to breaking into tech. And in case there are other questions, maybe in the course of conversations that comes to mind and you'd like to ask, like I said earlier, I'll be dropping a link whereby you click on the link and then you ask this question. Now that we have our speakers well seated and ready for us, and I'm sure we are also ready, just sit tight and let's listen to the answers to this question. So I will be trying the first question to Mr. Olayemi and subsequently to Mr. Bernard. The first question is, in your bio, where you talked about data analytics, you also talked about data engineering. So I'm wondering, in the first place, what prompted you? What inspired you to go into data? The thought of data is data. So what prompted you into that particular field exactly?
The thing is that I was looking for data. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olayemi, just like Esther said. What really prompts me to go into data is because I've tried other tech skills, tech fields. I've tried software engineering. Although that time is because of one thing or the other, I was not able to proceed to go deep into software engineering, so I dropped it. That was like 2017, 2018. So 2020, when the COVID time, I actually like number. I actually like number. I'm very good with number. So I want to do something with number. So I was playing with Excel and Google Sheet and all to just playing with it. I don't even know the word of data analysis. So, but in the year 2021, something changed for me because I didn't know that I was already doing data analysis. I didn't know at all that I was already doing data analysis with my Excel and all. But what really prompted me to even go deep into data is that my love for the numbers, number one. Number two, I saw it as skill that I can go into that won't require me to do a lot of coding. But eventually, when you are going deep into it, like when you are going to deep into it, maybe when you are getting to the senior level, you are going to write a code. But by that time, it won't really complex for you. But it's a skill that you can go into without you having to do more of coding stuff. That's why I picked data ahead of other tech skill. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that very brief short insight into your background. I also asked a similar question to Mr. Mayowa. From mechatronics engineering to software development, what's the story behind that? Would you like to share with us? You are muted. Kindly unmute yourself.
It's unmuted. Can you hear me? It's unmuted.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mayowa Bernard. I'm the lead software engineer at Best Technologies. And concerning your questions, well, you see, what prompted me actually to go into software development started from what I would like to call embedded systems. I was in SS1 when I first laid my hand on my first embedded system, which was building something called a quadcopter. I had no prior experience. I had no knowledge before that. And I was actually able to come up with something. That was the first time I had an insight into what I might probably pick up. You see, I actually love to go into how things work. That is the genesis of my interest. How things actually work, how they operate. Whenever I see something, you can be looking at a technology. Maybe for example, let's say a TV now. You can be looking at a TV. I might be looking at a TV, but the truth of the matter is, I am glad to say we are not seeing the same thing, because as I am having a glance of that at that TV, my brain is trying to pitch together what is behind this thing to make it actually give you this video feedback. I am not looking at the plastic design and whatever on the TV, but I am trying to pitch my brain into one or two as to, it has not become an habit to the point that there is nothing I take a look at. My brain instantly goes into how did they come about this thing. That was just the genesis of how my interest in how things work, and from there I went into, well, I looked up mechatronics, and mechatronics, nobody told me about it. It was just from the first thing I built, I read up about it, which was a quadcopter, and I saw like a mechatronics development, whatever stuff. So I read up on mechatronics and I saw like, wow, mechatronics has to do with robotics, machine learning, trying to actually make computers to be able to think, make decisions. Just me, I grew interest. And I appreciate the fact that due to the consistency, I picked the course and it was given straight up. So that was how my journey started. Then I picked up one or two programming languages. As you are seeing me right now, I can boldly tell you everything I know is should I say, consistency. Yeah.
Mm.
I
Thank you very
I
much.
taught myself to come up with everything. And right till now, if I tell you my journey about it, things I've built, things that are currently operating, right from embedded system to software development to mobile app, it has been a very interesting journey. Very
Yeah, we
interesting.
are still
I've been able,
coming to
yeah.
that. We are still coming
So,
to your experiences on embedded system and
okay.
all of that. So we
So
are just
that's
taking it step by step. Let's not
so
get tired of ourselves. But from
much.
both of you, what I could pick was, I mean, how to get started has to do with curiosity, and it has to do with interest. Very, very important. I mean, I think I picked that mostly from what Mr. Mayowa said on him being curious and then him being consistent in his curiosity, which pushed him to how to break into there. Interestingly, so I would also like to ask, based on all of this, I mean, you were curious, fine. When you started out, are there any specific challenges that you encountered? I mean, if you want to start up, for those of us that are here and want to break into tech, and then based on experiences we've had, and then based on what you said, you are curious, mechatronics. I mean, not all of us could be in that particular aspect, right? So, what were your challenges that could be relatable to us? So that when you share them, when we also break into it, it won't be something new to us because we've heard you talk about it. So, what were your challenges that you love to share? And of course, how did you overcome them? Briefly, I will direct that question to Mr. Mayowa, then to Mr. Awofe.
Okay, so for a brief, now you see, my greatest enemy when I started, my greatest enemy was the fact that I was indecisive. I was jumping from one place to another. That was the greatest threat I had. Like, okay, I have a very large family. Let me tell you this. I have a large family. And in that my large family, I am glad to tell you, you are looking at the first engineer from the family. Meaning every other person I have knows nothing when it comes to engineering. Like I had nobody to even tell me anything, nobody to push me to anything. I wasted not a year, not 2 years in jumping from one place to another, trying to actually like, okay, how will I do this? What can I ask? What can I do? That was the greatest threat I had. Now, how did I overcome it? This is another very interesting thing. You see, yes, I actually jumped. I jumped from this, jumped from this, jumped from this. It was that jumping that still also aligned me on the path I wanted to actually, that I needed to go. That's the truth. The only issue from that jumping was the fact that it actually wasted my time. Time is very precious, trust me. And it actually wasted my time, but at the same time, I was able to now finally come back to a particular level. Okay, this is what I actually need to do from all these 2-3 years. I am not joking with you here. I literally jumped for 3 years before I even aligned myself. I have been into this thing way very long now. So that is the greatest state. And the way I was able to overcome it is just by, okay, this out of everything I've been doing, let me try to stick to this. So meaning, assuming that maybe, let's say I had someone to actually be like, give a clear explanation. See, somebody might have been able to give me an explanation of maybe within a week. And that thing would have actually stopped me from wasting 2 years. But I didn't get that opportunity. Well, that is that. But that is just the challenge I faced. The first challenge I faced was that, and it was a major challenge. And well, that was also how I was able to overcome it. I just put my focus into an area, and I was like, okay, this is actually in line exactly with what I want to do. I hope that answers the question.
Sure, it does. Mr. Awofe, would you want to give your own insight to the question?
Yes, I would like to do that. My number one major challenge is that I don't have technical background. I didn't even study anything related to tech. I study business. So what happened, what's the major challenge I have is that I don't know where to go, and I don't have any basic knowledge of the programming skills and all those things. So I was really, really jumping all around as well. But what changed it for me is that I had a mentor. And how did I get this mentor? Yes. How did I get this mentor? I have a mentor because I still have the mentor. We still talk up to today. How did I get to know this mentor? It's through a boot camp. Because while I was jumping all around, I finally like enrolled for a program. So after I enrolled for that program, so it's meant to be like 2 weeks program. So is that program that isn't that my instructor that I later like mentored me? Okay, now you have to register for this. So I have to register for a 1-year program, diploma program. So that was what really changed the whole trajectory and everything for me. So that's the one challenge. So if you want to overcome this, you need mentor. You need someone that will put you through, and that will make your journey very fast. So number 2 challenge is that I live that time I have another thing I'm doing. I was managing a salon, so there's no time. So the only time I have is like from 9 to 10 in the midnight. So and most of the time we know Nigeria we don't have light. So most of the time what I have to settle into is to use what I have to learn. So when I have the opportunity to practice, I will make sure that I practice. So instead of me having to wait for system, okay, until I have computer to practice, I will use my system to my phone to watch the recording of the class I was unable to join and all those things. So I later come back to later when I have the opportunity to use my laptop, I will practice what I learned. So by having mentor, I solved the challenge, and at the same time, I was able to, because of the grit, because of the curiosity as well. And next thing, I think I will talk about the next one when I have another question that related to it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that brief explanation. It's more of like both of you had similar experiences. What I could pick, yes, I'm being indecisive. So for those of us that are here, probably you're indecisive, or which particular career path in tech would you want to fall into? And then the answer was also available, which is mentorship session, and which is why we are having this particular platform, free mentorship session, because I mean, it will be like you're good in this, you're interested in this, your passion lies in this, but which one should I exactly go for? And that is why Best Tech is having this kind of platform for us to explain what is what, which is which, and for you to be able to make up your mind and then pursue the one you want. And then another thing that you mentioned, I mean, I think Mr. Ofe mentioned that it starts small and practice. So you don't have to wait for maybe like a big money or for you to go into Microsoft just like he did before you start practicing. But then with the little tools you have, with the little exposure you have, you can start with that and then you start practicing, then you grow bigger. Very wonderful session. Thank you for that particular insight. Now let's go away deep. Let's deep dive. Let's go more deeper into what we have. We would like to go into tools now, specifically for let me say specific career. One is the software developer, another one is the business analyst. So for the software developer, the last time I heard of Python, the first time, not the last time, the first time I heard of Python, I was curious, I was scared, I was terrified. How can somebody decide to learn Python? I mean, the Python we know is snake. I mean, the first time I had it, I was perplexed. I was worried about this person. So, I mean, I'm sure quite a number of people, although now, I mean, our experiences and exposure have helped, but I would love you, maybe briefly. I mean, you can't go all of that. I mean, you spent 7 years with your wealth of experience. I mean, Python, I've heard of Python, I know of JavaScript. Could you please tell us on how to get started with these tools, maybe a brief, short overview of these tools, especially how to get started as a software developer? Mr. Mayowa, please.
Right. Thank you very much for that. Now, as a software developer, there are some things that are compulsorily needed to be learned first, and there are some that are needed to be learned second. When you misplace these things, it gives you a tough time. You might get yourself back later on, but you yourself will feel that. Now, if you are trying to, software development is very large. It is very large. Now, let me do a little breakdown of software development. When you talk about being a software development, you are talking about you knowing fully well about front-end development, back-end development, full stack development, talking about DevOps. Yeah, you need that as a software development. Then talking even as deep as going into data analysis, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, like software development generally covers all. And why is it like that? The major reason why it is like that is the fact that you cannot say you are a software development and you won't know how to actually integrate things that are not about maybe websites into your platform. Now, let's say you are building let's say you are building a mobile app and you need something that has to do with you integrating a machine learning or artificial intelligence side into that particular platform. You can't say you don't need to know how to do that. you are developing the software, you definitely need to be well versed in those areas. So that is why it's kind of like as if software development embodies the whole tech space. That is just the simple reason why. Whenever you hear anybody, they'll be like, they are into machine learning. They still want to be like they are part of software development. Yes, it is the truth. Now, how can you, since we are saying this thing is huge, it is large, how do you now tell someone that this and this is what you? The first thing you need to do if you are going into software development, the first thing, which is the same path I took that brought me to where I am right now, is the fact that you need to be versed in some programming languages. Now, let me just do this. You see, as I am right now, I know at least not one, not two, not three programming languages. There's a secret behind it. There's a very silent secret behind it. And the secret is the fact that when you pick your first programming language, I will still talk about which should be the first. Now, when you pick your first programming language and you know it, see, there's a difference between knowing a programming language and being able to actually work with a programming language. Now, when you pick a programming language, you know it and you are able to work with it like the back of your hand. It will be very easy for you to pick another programming language. If you spent 1 year on a programming language, let's just say now, if you pick up another programming language, don't be surprised if you are very good with that other one in 2-3 months. Yes. The major difference in many of these programming language is always in syntax. That's like number one major difference in all these programming languages. Syntaxes. How is their syntax built up? Syntax, memories, and all. But it is always a very minor difference. When you are very vast in one, you will be able to pick up others and do well in it. Now, which programming language? We have a lot of programming languages. How do I know which one I need to pick up to start as a software developer? Now, we have Java, we have Python, we have Golang, we have C, we have C++, we have PHP. How do I know which one I want to? This depends on some things actually. But let's say you are unaware of anything and you just want to deep dive into it. Like I did, I started with Java. That was the first programming language I picked up, even before Python. I started with Java. I picked up Java. In Java, I did my best in Java. And it's essentially a very sweet language. As that as it might seem, because if you ask anybody, Java is like one of the hardest programming languages you can learn. That is why if you pick up the hardest and you are able to break it down, trust me, picking up the one that is not as hard as that will be very easy to comprehend. So I started with Java. And the major reason I started with Java was the fact that I had interest in something called backend development. You see, I told you something at the beginning. I said I love to be a part of how things work. Like I am always very unspectacular. If you are talking to me about something, about a tech, about whatever, I'm with you, but my mind is not really with what you are saying. It is with how that thing that you're talking about. How does it work? My brain starts pitching up on it. That is why if you come up with a project idea in front of me, immediately, like without me asking you to let me go, I will start dishing out to you how that program or that project can come to life. Because my brain will go deep into, okay, how can this thing work? What do we need? Immediately on that stand. So I am a lover of how things work. How things work. Either it is a software or hardware. Even this as low as big as this your laptop, how does it work? How are you seeing me? How am I seeing you? What is making it to happen? So that is why I was interested in backend and I went for Java. I went for Java because I want to learn Java so I can use a Java framework for backend development. After a while in Java, I picked up Python. Now I picked up Python because I wanted to do something in line with what I was learning in school, which was machine learning and artificial intelligence. I wanted to pick it up. And whenever you want to do something like that, the best programming language you can use is Python. There's another one called R programming language, letter R. Yeah, R programming language. You also make use of that for data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Yeah, you use R also. Now, I've mentioned 2 languages. I mentioned Java and I mentioned Python. But while I was mentioning them, I also mentioned why I learned them. This means whatever you want to learn, it will also be a part of what you want to build or what you want to achieve at the end of the day. That will be the major determinant. I did not pick up Python until I realized I want to go into machine learning and artificial intelligence. Yes. So that means now I didn't really get to sit with a mentor or ask a mentor. Like I said, I tried out a lot of things. For months, for years, I tried out a lot of things before I could be like, okay, if I want to learn this, this is what I need to learn. So not like somebody sat me down and started explaining. But the long and short of it is, for you to determine your learning path, you understand your strengths. Know your strengths. Know your strengths. When you know your strength, see, anybody can learn anything, but you knowing what you have passion for. See, if I don't carry my laptop in a day to work, I won't feel all right. Even if it's just for me to open it and go and look at an old program or code, I won't feel okay. It has become a part. Like, it's a passion. I love it. I want to do it. I want, not like as if somebody will be begging me that, have you carried? See, I've trained a lot of people, and one issue I used to have is I will be the one telling them, have you carried your laptop today? That is very wrong. That is a total red flag in whatever that person is learning. If somebody has to tell you that, have you carried your laptop today, or have you opened this today? So I always go for something that is a passion for you. Like, look at it. See, there is something everybody, even if it is art, there are things you can do with tech that will align with it. Art, yes, art. So look at yourself. Determine your passion. Like, what can I do? What do I know best? What do I know how to do best? Is it, even if it is acting? See, there's nothing you want to do that tech cannot come in. It's a mistake some people do, some people used to make, and that is why we have people rushing into what they don't need to rush to.
Mr. Mayowa, sorry, I need to cut
So
you there.
I'm sorry, I'm taking our time. I'm just getting, but that is it.
I know
Just look at
you're getting
yourself.
a bit emotional and you're like trying to dish out some sort of like a TED talk to us. So I need to
Yeah.
cut it there. But I think we've gotten what we need to get. That whatever we need to start up, especially if you are leaning towards learning software development, at least how to start up with, start with, according to him, start with Java, which is the simplest part. And according to him, at least know as much as learning programming languages as much as possible. And according to what he said, if you are versatile in one, then you should be able to pick up as many as possible. And in the process of time, you're able to gather all, and you'll be able to know which one suits best, especially when it comes to when it comes to you developing a particular software, let's say software product. Yeah, I was able to pick that. And then we also mentioned understanding your strengths so that when time comes for you to be able to build a product, you'll be able to know which particular programming language is suitable for one and all. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayowa. That is a wonderful session. Then to you, Mr. Awofe, we have Power BI, we have Tableau, we have quite a number of English we do not understand. Would you want to take us through the tools that we should start looking forward to, especially we that we are trying to break into tech? I mean, what tools should we get versatile with, especially when it has to do with data science, data engineering, and all?
Okay, so first of all, I'll mention interest. I'll say interest. Depend on your interest. In data feed now, we have several feed, like we have several roles in data feeds. We have data analyst, we have data engineering, because that data engineering prompts a lot of questions. A lot of people ask questions regarding that data engineering because they'll be like, what is data engineering? So we have data scientists, and we have business analysts, we have data administrator. So we have a lot of roles in data. So it depends on what you want. And I think I'll use this opportunity to just quickly break it down. And now that will prompt me to answer the question properly. So data analyst people are the ones that are looking into the data, telling you story about the data, telling you what is in the data and all. So the data scientist people are the people that are building the machine learning that the chat GPT that you are talking about today are the people behind it. And the data engineer people are the people that actually make all of us work with the data. See, as we are making this call now, there is a pipeline behind this call that is storing everything that everybody is saying, all the data when somebody joined, the message that will drop, and all those things. There is something that's done. There is database that is storing them. So the data engineering people are the one that are building the backend. Let me call it database that are storing it. So the data administrator are the people that are saying, okay, you as a data analyst, the data that you have access to. You as a data scientist, the data that you have access to. Data engineer, please, I've granted you this access. You need to work here. So that's it, and so on and so on. So it depends on your interest. So if you are someone that like coding, like you want to code, I would recommend that you go for data scientist. If you are someone that you like coding as well, like high-level coding, I'll say you go for data engineering because you write a lot of code, which is something I have interest into right now. So then if you are someone that I call data analyst as low code because there is still code, but not so much. It's very simple code. So I call it low code. It's a skill that anybody can pick up. Whatsoever thing that you study, you can make it in data analysis. Whatsoever you study, even if you study history, you will do it and you will do it well. So that's data analyst. Then we have business analyst. That one is not even coding at all. It's not coding. It's in tech. It's making tech money, but it's not coding at all. So it depends on your interest. So let me focus on data analyst. So skill that you should be learning in 2025 that will set you up is you pick up Excel. First of all, pick up Excel. Don't be like me. You can be like me. I'll tell you the reason why you should be like me and the reason why you should not be like me. The reason why you should be like me is because when I want to learn, like when I want to start data analysis, when I want to start my journey in data, because I said I have something in mind. My end goal is to be someone that is very versatile in data field. Like if you say something about data analyst, I'm good at it. If you say something about data scientist, I'm good at it. If you say something about data engineering, I'm good at it. So because of that, my mentor, he said, go for data analyst first, understand how data works. So by then, picking other skill in data will be very easy for you. So if I want to recommend now, based on my own, what I did, I started to learn Python first. Please don't do it. The reason why I said don't do it is because I've done that with a lot of people. Like I've tried to analyze the data because I actually interested in knowing why a lot of people drop this skill, like they drop their interest they have for tech, they drop it along the line, is because they pick up the wrong tool at first. So, and actually it's not wrong because when I pick up the Python, it's because of my interest in it. I love what I want to do and I have focus. I know where I'm going to. So I learned Python first. So Python is kind of very hard for many other people, but it's come easy to me. And I don't have any background in tech. Like I don't have any. I study business. I said it. I study business. I don't have any background in tech, so I learned Python first. Then after I learned Python, I now learn Excel. So when I was learning Excel, all this function, all the function formula in Excel now comes very easy to me. Like I don't even take me any time to understand it. So when I pick up SQL, it's come easy to me as well. But if I want to recommend, you start with Excel, understand Excel very well, understand how to work with spreadsheets, how to work with pivot table, how to work with power pivot, how to work with the chart in Excel, how to use Excel, like how to use Excel. Then after that, you pick up SQL. You understand what SQL is. SQL is structured query language. That's the language that you use to interact with the database. You pick it up, you learn it very well. Then after that, you can pick up any of these three visualization tools. Number one, you can pick up Power BI. Power BI is for Microsoft. you have to have a work account to work with Power BI. So we have Tableau. Tableau is by Salesforce. So Tableau is visualization tool. Then we have what we call Google Looker Studio. Google Looker Studio is for Google. So they can that 3 tool is enough. So along the line, when you are growing up in your skills, maybe like when you are climbing the role, when you are climbing, maybe you are getting closer to intermediate, you can pick up Python to go to do more in-depth analysis. So that's how I would break it down. Excel first, SQL next, Power BI next, or Tableau or Google Looker Studio. Then along the line, you pick up Python. When you pick up Python, after you understand these 3 tools, you see that Python will become very, very easy for you to learn. So that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Olayemi, for breaking that down, at least from complete beginner. Then as we proceed, what to should add on, and then what other to should add on. Thank you so much. On to the next question that we have on our list. I noticed we have 2 different backgrounds, one from the software, one from the data side. And then there is this question of I think one of us mentioned bootcamp, like you met a mentor in bootcamp. So what if probably I'm not the bootcamp type? Is there any other resource you can recommend? I mean, how do I get started as a whole? And even this bootcamp, how do I know which one to go for? Or is there any other resources? I mean, based on your insight so far from your field of experience, what can you recommend? Is it bootcamp? Is it self-learning? Just like Mr. Mayowa mentioned self-learning, that he was able to pick curiosity and he was able to learn on his own. I mean, which work for which? How do I gather all of this together? Would you want to like share insights on that, and then as brief as possible because we have other questions to attend to? Mr. Mayowa, please. Please unmute your mic.
Concerning that question now, what I will say is, so you hear me?
Yes, please. We can hear you. Please proceed.
Okay, so now concerning that question, what I'll be advising is, if at all by chance you don't really have someone close by you can talk to, if at all you don't, you can always pick something up as a free learning phase. Internet has made things very easy now. Though the truth is, even though if you learn for free on the internet, it won't still be as good as someone actually taking you through. That's the truth. It won't be as good, it won't be as fast as someone taking you through. But you can basically just have idea, even if it's just to have idea about that thing that you have interest in. You can go for the free, maybe free online courses and go. It will help you, at least it will give you some foundations about a little bit of some foundations about that thing that you have interest in. Now, you can also talk to, okay, here we are now at Best Tech. We offer the service of actually advising on how best to actually approach this situation of not going for the wrong thing or just not going for something when you feel like this is what the crowd is going for. It's about examining you, examining what you're capable of, and then being able to actually come up with something for you that will actually work with your strength, because that also has to be determined. Your strength has to be determined. Before I could get to where I am right now, I am glad to tell you at some point there were times I do 8 hours daily of learning. 8 hours daily. I started with 4, graduated to 8 within 6 months. Yes, that was how I was able to just do that. And like I said, it is also because of personal interest. I turned it to what I love to do, not what I want to do. I turned it to what I love to do. So in that way, you will be able to also dedicate your time to it. You'll be able to learn well. So my advice in short is just, if it is first time of actually just hearing about it or knowing about tech or whatever, go and just make some research yourself. Make some researches, know about one or two. Okay, this is actually what they use this for. Okay, software development, they build websites, they build mobile apps, they build systems, they build AI, machine learning, work on machine learning stuff, work on embedded systems. Check them out in real life. What do they do? Have that basic knowledge. After having the basic knowledge, you can chat and you can talk to us, you can talk to anybody about what next we think you can do to actually jump into tech fully. So that is just a little bit about how you can actually make without it won't allow you to waste time. That is what I am trying to do here. So you won't waste time. See, like I said, that time is the most important thing here. How best you won't waste time is this. If you say you want, it's like someone that has passed through something with years of experience and you want to start, they will be able to tell you, okay, this and this is what I've tried before. It won't work. So you won't bother to even try it at all or waste your time in it. So even though you look up something free online and whatever, you will still need a mentor. It is best to have a mentor. I tried my process. I am where I am today, but I will still recommend anytime, anywhere, that you should actually get a mentor. That is the best thing you can do to not waste time. With a mentor, you can do something in 3 years that normally would have taken you maybe 6, 7 years without anybody. So that is my professional advice on how to actually make good use of the time in order to actually learn properly. So if that answers the question, thank you.
Esther, you are
We can't hear
muted.
you. Your mouth.
Thank you. Based on what you've said so far, on I mean, even from our discussion so far, I noticed, especially when it comes to tools and the other things you've mentioned. I mean, from the two speakers, most of the thing that I noticed came out was that have an idea of what you want to do, and maybe in terms of tools and in terms of getting the experience, at least you already have an idea. So from what you also just said now, at least for you to know which one to go to or to go for, I mean, the career path to go for, make research, probably on YouTube, go online, make research on which one to go for, then have a mentor to build on the foundation you've laid in terms of research. Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Olayemi? Do you have anything to add to what
Yes,
Mr. Bernard said?
yes, I have something to add, and I'll be very quick with that. What I have to say is that please go if you have opportunity, if you are opportune, and you have the resources to join bootcamp. Please join bootcamp. It will make your journey fast, well streamlined, and you won't be jumping all around. So, and again, when you now join bootcamp, don't think the bootcamp will spoon feed you for everything. Like once you join the bootcamp, you will know it. If you don't put in the work, sorry to say, you will not know it. So as you join the bootcamp, they are giving you the best. Make sure that you pick up the spirit of learning at your own time as well, to go back and revisit what you have been taught in the bootcamp. Try to make more research. That's how you become good. When I was doing my diploma course, most of my classmates, they will just, after the class, they will just close their system. They'll close their laptop. That's the next class. But me, after the class, I'll make sure that I understand what we've been taught in class. What will be the next question? Probably what will probably be the next topic that we'll be teaching in class. I make sure that I understand it. I have full grasp of it. Even when I miss class, I will still cope. And that really shows a lot, because by the time that I want to graduate, the day that I graduated, I already, like, even before I graduated, I know a lot of things that have actually worked for me, because I am working on myself as the bootcamp is going on. Myself, I'm not just it's not that just that I close my system somewhere. I am pushing myself. I'm learning more. as this going on, I'm learning more. So please have the habit of someone that wants to learn. One thing about tech is if you don't like learning, it will be very hard for you to break it in tech. You have to like learning. You have to be a constant learner. You have to have the habit of student forever. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Olayemi. Very shortly, we'll be going for an art break. But just to reiterate on what you said, you were so big on bootcamp learning, and then just to add on it, self-learning as well, because you can as well go to bootcamp, and it might be like you went to bootcamp did not go through you. So on top of you attending bootcamp, try to push yourself in self-learning. So like I said, we'll be going for art break. So at Best Technology, we'll be having our bootcamp coming up soonest. And just for you to have more insights for on this particular bootcamp, I'll be dropping a link for you to fill. Of course, and then there's a discount available for those that are on Discord. So we'll be setting up our bootcamp very, very soon. And if you want to be a part of this wonderful, intense bootcamp, coming from most of our speakers that are here, I have dropped the link. Just do well to click on the link. It's a form just for you to fill, and then you get an automatic mail welcoming you right, and then also for subsequent mails that is going to be available for the bootcamp. So we also have I would like to play a short video concerning 1 or minutes. Just let me know if you can see my screen. A minute. So we're sharing a short video of one of us that sent us, or let me say, an advertisement concerning the bootcamp that is forthcoming. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
A lot of bootcamp.
Can you see my screen and can you hear it?
Yes.
Awesome.
What HTML is, what JavaScript does, but at Best Technologies, we focus on the how and why, how to build real projects, and why clean user-focused codes matters. Yeah, you get direct mentorship, live sessions, and not just recordings. And 90% of the training is practical, so you're spending most of your time building real meaningful work that you can showcase. It's not just the training, it's real world prep with people who actually care about your growth. Join our bootcamp training today.
Right. Join our bootcamp training today. I have dropped the link. Do what to fill in the link. If you know somebody that needs, that needs to break into tech and that needs, a lot of support, internship, a lot of support, mentorship, trainings, real world insights, guidance as much as possible. Do what to fill in this link, or do well to save this link and send it to them. I'll be dropping the link again so that you can do well to just copy to this person. That could be your best gift to the person this very year. All right, now we are done with our art break. We'll go back to our questions. And then, a lot of questions are already dropping for us, especially for our speakers. Wonderful questions, by the way. So I'll do well to wrap up with this session, and then we'll take question and answer from our participants. So to Mr. Mayowa, in the course of your conversation, you were making mention of, software development. The categories under it make mention of front end, you make mention of back end, make mention of full stack, and I'm sure there are still a lot of categories, career path under that. Would you want to, briefly explain to us on the different paths someone can take when it comes to software development? Did you get my question?
Okay, you want me to explain? Come again on the question.
All right. I said in the course of while you were explaining, you were mentioning different career paths when it comes to software development. You made mention of front end, back end. So, can you describe this path and then how can one venture into it? Do you understand my question?
Yes.
Various career paths associated with software development. Yes, please proceed.
Now, imagine Imagine this situation. You are in a restaurant, right? You are seated in a restaurant. You want to buy food, and someone comes to meet you, asks for your order. The person takes your order and takes it to who is in charge of serving the food, and they bring the food back to you. Now, you saw where they served the food and brought the food to you. But something else is a process that was involved in the production of that food. The part where the food was brought to you is something that we kind of call the front end development. It's just something it's like as if you're seeing an end result. But there's a whole lot of process at like that happened underground. You have no idea about that. But that process happened so you could have a result that is visible to you, which is the food. Now imagine that food to be like front-end development. Some people just serve the food to you and you eat. But the part that was involved in the production, the preparation of that food is what we kind of call the back-end development. So back-end development and front-end development majorly makes up a larger part of software development. A software has a front end and a back end. The back end is like the logic that makes the front end to actually either work or perform some actions. So that is basically what you can think of when you hear front end, when you hear back end. When you open a website, everything you are seeing there is what we can say has been built by a front end developer. Now, when you try to sign in, you try to maybe create an account, you try to maybe make payments, there are some logics underground that checks for your account balance before you can make payments. There are some logics underground that verifies that, okay, this person is actually allowed to make payments. Those logics are what we refer to as the back end of the system. They are working underground. So some people are in charge of building that logic. They are referred to as the back end. Now we have the front end, we have the back end. Now we also have the people we refer to as the mobile app developer. What is the major difference between the mobile app developers and the front end developers? They are very similar. That is the truth. They build the things that the end user, which is you that enter the restaurant, they produce that thing that you want to consume. What's the visible part of it that you want to the visible part that you want to interact with? They are in charge of producing that visible part, which is now, but there is still a difference between both of them. You see, one can actually work in something we call natively, like they can work on what we call a mobile phone. They are built into an app that you can use on your phone. That means everything you have on that website has been packaged together as a single, that's a single mode, or it has been packaged together in a school bag. And that school bag is what you can hold, maybe like your phone. You can easily interact with it instead of going to a website. So people that does that are called the mobile developers. So learning front end and mobile app, it's very closely related. That is why most of the time when you see a front end developer, they advise the person to also pick up mobile app development. So that is front end, back end, mobile app. We have artificial intelligence and we have machine learning. We recently we've seen cases where machines are actually making decisions. That is just the long and short when we talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning. Artificial intelligence, man-made intelligence. Man-made intelligence. That means a machine has been turned to something that can actually make decisions without necessarily waiting for human intervention or directives. It has been loaded with some sort of programs that, okay, when this is happening, this is what you should do. When this is happening, this is what you should do. Machine learning. Machine learning is simply a machine that learns. That means if this machine does this thing this time and it gets it wrong, it will learn from whatever you might have supplied that is the right question, and the right answer. And when somebody else is somewhere else asks that same question, it won't give a wrong answer again because of what? It has learned. That is machine learning. Majority of the things, let me give an example of a machine learning scenario now. Just a very short example of a machine learning scenario. We have some applications now that when you snap your picture, you just snap your picture and they will be able to actually tell if you are happy or sad. I'm giving a very basic explanation of machine learning. It's like the simplest machine learning something you can do. Let's say, okay, you build a machine learning model. We call it models. You build a machine learning model. What you just do is snap your picture and it will tell you if you are happy or you are sad from your facial expression. It will be able to deduct that. That is an example. Machine learning, artificial intelligence. Now, we also have something called data science. We have data analysis. Everything still under software. As you're looking at me now, one simple truth, I can work with a lot of tools because of the fact that they are all intertwined inside software development. I work from data analysis to data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Yeah, they are all intertwined into software development. So just look at artificial intelligence as the general thing undergirding machine learning, data science, deep learning, natural language processing, generative AI. So all those things are it's kind of we can say that it is large, it is huge, but still at the same time, don't be scared of this software development has a lot of things under it. No, like I said from the beginning, everything is step by step. Start from front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Master that to even if it's to the intermediate level. Go to backend. Take backend frameworks. Learn JavaScript, programming language, JavaScript, Python. Learn their basics. Be able to do one or two simple tasks with them. Build backend systems with them. That is the next step. After doing that, you've already learned Python to some extent. You can actually work with data science using Python. Everything in data science is under Python libraries in Python. Pandas, NumPy, Seaborn, Matplotlib. They are just libraries you use for building data science, for building machine learning models. So let me just iterate from front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You go to backend, the tools you need in backend, learn programming languages like JavaScript and Python, use frameworks like Node.js, Django, Flask to build up backend systems. From there, you can shift, learn also into data science. I'm just taking a brief on how you can actually be vast in software development. Then you move again, okay, data science. For data science, what you basically need to do is be solid in your Python. If it is Python or R that you want to use, be solid. It is the number one and most important thing you need when it comes to data science, data analysis. Now, for data analysis, you need tools like Power BI or Tableau to actually visualize what you are performing analysis on, the data you are performing analysis on. I'm sorry if I'm taking a little bit of our time, but it's like it's something that just needs to be split into bits. We have people that might be taking notes, so please let me just spare me the minutes. Now, after the data analysis, you move to machine learning. Inside machine learning, you will be able to learn things on deep learning, natural language processing. Natural language processing is just about how a language can be translated to another, or how you can actually drop a language and you will get the output you want it in. Maybe you drop it in English, you want it out in Spanish, you want it out in Chinese or anyone. That is natural language processing. So you learn that also under machine learning. They are all under machine learning. We have artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a set, is a big set. Then inside that, the subset that we have inside it, we have machine learning. Then inside that, we have the deep learning, we have the natural language processing. So I think you are getting the family tools like that under machine learning. Now, it is now from there, we also have DevOps. DevOps, that is development operations. Now, what they do majorly is they are actually in charge of working with cloud. They work with cloud majorly. It's something I also do. You learn cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, Google, GPC, Google Cloud platforms. You are able to actually interact with this platform, host your platform on the cloud, and be able to scale. You want to scale up, you want to scale down. Scale up, scale down is just meaning, okay, your platform is performing well, it's having more users, and you want to make sure nothing breaks. If you notice our platform, on this our NYSA platform and all, there are times they break down. They will just break and you won't be able to do anything. They are not effectively managed. That is the work of a DevOps engineer. So front end, back end, then you learn both together, how you can build both together, front end and back end, which was what we call full stack. Then you moved from there, data analysis, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, DevOps. It's like a line like that, but you start majorly from, like I said, from onset, programming languages. Learn Python, learn JavaScript. But if you think you just want to split things, learn Python, learn JavaScript, then pick up the front end, the back end, full stack, like I've mentioned before. So I know there might be questions on this, but I'll be stopping here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayowa. You're already taking us into the bootcamp session in total. Well, yeah, thank you. I believe that was insightful for those that have questions around that. Mr. Olayemi, very briefly, can you just give an overview? Then we'll just go into questions and answers because we already have quite a number of questions for both of you. And I'd love to take that session within the next couple of minutes we have. So over to you, Mr. Olayemi, in the next few seconds, please. An overview of the various paths we have under data. I think you mentioned it. You mentioned data engineering as well.
I think I've done justice to the explanation of this.
Just to give an overview. Yes.
When Mr. Mayowa was talking about the breakdown of software engineering, everything is under software engineering. Data engineering is software engineering. Basically, they are building. Data scientists is same thing under software engineering. But what I would say is that instead of you having to be jumping all around, picking this, please, when you are starting at the beginning of your career, know what you want to do, know what you have interest in. If it is front end you have interest in, go like this. Then when you reach a particular stage, you can now go like this. But go like this, understand the basic, make sure that you understand what you want to do, you understand the tools that you want to do in that particular field, then you go like this later on. Or if you want to go like this straight, you are going to get to the high peak of the career. So I think I have a question here. Let me quickly answer the person's question. What type of beginner-friendly project can you build to showcase my skill in data science? Okay, so beginner-friendly skills that you can build for data science is, okay, for example, in data science, you can build a beginner level, build a program, a machine learning algorithm that register the face of everybody in the house, in the particular house, then put it on a camera as engine that is at the back of the camera. So put it in front of your house. So everybody, like that machine learning algorithm, will understand, we all actually know the face of everybody in that house. So once someone that is not in that house, is not the family of that house, is coming in, the machine learning algorithm will pick that person's face to know that this person is not from this house. So if at the back end you said that, okay, if this person is not from this house, send a message to this person that someone that not from this house is trying to enter this house. That's a very simple, that's a very, very simple algorithm, like a machine that you can build from a machine learning or data science project. Another data science project is something like I've worked on is I tried to look into the economy of Nigeria, and we try to forecast what is going to happen in the next 10 years. The project is live. So you can ask for the link. The project is live. So what is that going to happen in terms of our inflation rate, unemployment rates, and all? So it's back, they look back into the data of the history of the data, then use that to build machine learning to learn from the data and predict what is going to happen in the future. So another thing is, another case scenario for data engineer is that they are the one that make this data available. Think about it. This data that I talked about that is Nigerian data. We actually have an habit of not storing data in Nigeria before. So with coming up of the data engineering community, they were the ones that are building all this data, like coming up with all this data, looking for where this data is, then bring them all together and make them to be in a particular state together. So that's the very simple project that you can do to showcase data engineering skill and data scientist skills. So that's the answer to your question, Mr. Moses. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olayemi. Just quickly, we'll just go straight to our questions and answers. I would have loved to go on and on with the questions we compiled together, but then I noticed that the questions that are coming in have actually, it's kind of related to the questions we have. So what we just do is just go straight to the question and answer we have. Yeah, here it is. So the first question is, I think the first question is going to Mr. Mayowa. As you can see on my screen, if you don't want to go into software programming, but you just want to go into the basic, what other course can you go for?
Okay. Should I go ahead?
Please, go ahead, please.
All right. Now, if you don't want to go into software programming, but you just want to go into the basic, what other course can you go for? You see, I outlined everything under software development. Please take note of something very important, very, very important. Do not say because they've mentioned everything under software development and that is everything that you have to do. That is the first place you will get it wrong. That means you've already gotten it wrong at the beginning. For you to get it right, it will be very hard. Now, you definitely start from basics, just like my colleague said. You start from basics. Now, starting from basics, if you just want to go into the basics, basically you will see, it's like as if there's nothing you want to do that you will not need programming language. You will always need knowledge of programming languages. Yes. Now, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to tell you now is learn a programming language. Learn a programming. See, you can build projects with programming language without even building any form of UI, any form of front end or back end. You can play around with it. Now, let me give you an example. Example is the first project I built with Python that I so much loved is a word map Python project. What does it do? Now, what it does is when you spin up the project, it will show a list, it will show an image of the earth, and then it will start telling you to type in correctly names of countries. Any country you type and you get it right, it will drop a flag on the specific location of that country on the image. It's a very wonderful project because it will allow you to know a lot of things in Python, from functions to classes, like a lot of things. So you can. I built games. I built what's it called? Ping pong. I built ping pong. I built car game with Python, even without learning any UI. Now that knowledge allows me to be able to actually make use of Python now that I'm actually deciding to settle down on this and this is what I want to do. So basically, be versatile with any programming language you want to go with. Now, which one do I think you should go with? If you are just starting, what I would just say is you can pick up Python. Python is one of the most easiest to learn. I'm not saying it is easy, even though I'm saying it's one of the most easiest. Python is like as if you are saying pure English to a system. Like it's like as if you are reading normal English to a system. It is more easier to pick up and to start very fast. I am always on the idea of spinning up things very fast. So start with Python, go deep into it, work with it, understand the language. And then from there, because you can use Python for generally everything. That's the what's it called? That's the sujet pass. You can use Python for generally anything. It has a lot of use cases. So if you're just asking that, or you just want to go into the basic, like what other course, just go for programming, learn programming. In data science, you make use of it. In front end, you make use of it. In back end, you make use of it. So please, that's my professional advice on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayowa. To reiterate on what you said, so the person that wants to go for software development, I guess that's what you meant, but you want to go for that basic course. And just according to what Mr. Mayowa said, at least you want to learn programming in the basics. We have data science, we have Python. Even if you don't want to go for full course software development, at least you have an idea of how to build something, and then whatever path you want to go for, you'll be able to effect that skill on that path, and then you'll come up with an amazing product. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayowa, for addressing that question. This person is asking a question, and it's specific to Mr. Olayemi. He said, number one, what is your recommendation on how long it will take for a total beginner to learn data analysis? I'll just take the question together because the question was putting continuing. So the person was specific to ask these questions to you, Mr. Olayemi. So please take note of the question. The total, how long it will take for a total beginner to learn data analysis, and also how to learn business intelligence without learning data. Is it possible to learn business intelligence without learning data analysis first?
So can I go with the answer?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, you want to learn data analysis. I would say approximately on a beginner surface level, you have to understand what Excel, like what is Excel. It's not your normal sum. It's not the normal this thing, put this one here. No, like you understand what Excel entails. You understand Excel very well. Then from there, understanding Excel very well, you know how to use Excel to do analysis. You've covered 60% of data analysis. Data analysis is not tool, is how and techniques of how to do analysis. You can use just data, you can use just Excel to perform data analysis, although depend on how much the data is. And there's even workaround on how many data Excel can take. So you understand Excel. So let me say 1.5 months. If at least in per day you are devoting 2 hours per day to learn. So I would say you are devoting 2 hours to learn, or approximately in a week you are devoting like 8 hours to learn in a week. So I'll say Excel for 1.5 months, then SQL for 1.5 months as well, Power BI for 1 month. Power BI is very big if you want to go into Power BI, but I would recommend Power BI because the reason why I would recommend Power BI is Nigeria is Microsoft market. So I would recommend Power BI, or I would recommend Google Looker Studio. The reason why I would recommend Google Looker Studio is because Google Looker Studio is personal, like is Google. And you know one thing about Google, most of their things are free. Once you have Google accounts, Gmail accounts, you can use their stuff freely. So it's free. But Microsoft Power BI, you have to pay, and you even have to be under a company before you can practice with Microsoft Power BI. So I would say approximately, let me say 3 to 4 months, you should be able to say, oh, on a basic level. Now, if I see data, I will work with data. So from there, you grow. Maybe you start internship. From there, you move. So another question is said that, can someone learn business intelligence without learning data analysis first? What is data analysis? What is business intelligence? Business intelligence is you using data analysis tool, or let me say, is you using BI tool. BI tool are the Tableau, Power BI, Google Looker Studio, to analyze business problem, to analyze business data, particularly business data. Think about it like an e-commerce sales data. You want to solve the problem of, okay, I want to know where this is coming from. I want to know where this is coming from. I want to have like real-time dashboard that is showing me, okay, I have this total amount, this total order. If I didn't make this stock, and the order will fail and all those things. So is you building business intelligence. So I can say you can be a data analyst. Once you're a data analyst, you are a business intelligence. You can be a business intelligence and not really a data analyst person. If you are, what you learn is just BI, just learn Power BI. Like you just learn Power BI, it's Power BI that you learn, or it's Looker Studio that you learn, or it's Tableau that you learn. You are a business intelligence developer, or you are a visualization specialist. So finish. That's it. So it's still on, like, they are under same umbrella. You can't learn one and leave one. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Olayemi, a question for Mayowa. What is the relationship between website development and software development? Do you want to answer that real quick?
Okay. Website development and software development, when you talk about both, they are closely intertwined. Because inside software development, you are doing website development. Software development is, should I say, the parent. Website development is inside software. Website development is a subset of software development. You are building a platform that people can actually go to maybe have an insight into something or perform an action on it, which is a part of software development. Software development, it is still under software development. It's just a branch. Software development is the theory. Website development is a branch under it. The tools you learn inside software development, you use it for website development. It is very simple and straightforward. I don't know if that answers it.
Okay. Yes, it does. Thank you so much. We have another question. I think both of you is going to answer this question. Mr. Mayowa, I think you should go first. You should back the mic up. The person said he doesn't have interest in coding. Everything you said, yeah, very interesting, but he doesn't have interest in it. But he has very much interest in tech. What other aspects of tech can you advise on, and how easy it is to start them?
Okay, so the thing is, because we've been talking about coding and programming since, does not mean you can't actually still go into tech without the knowledge of coding. We have things now that you can actually still do in tech with little to no code. So there are areas, I will mention the areas like we have areas like product management, UI UX design. It is still under tech. We also have data analysis with little or to no code at all under data analysis. We have digital marketing also under tech with no code. We also have no code development. We have tools now that you can use to actually build at least a starting point of softwares without any form of in-depth coding or programming at all. Then also we have things like QA testing and software testing. You can do that. They are just people that test softwares before they are released for the public or major use. So all these are still under tech. You can still learn them and still be a part of the tech ecosystem without necessarily having the total brain of coding and all. So they are just things you can learn without coding or without major knowledge in coding. Thank you. That's all. You are muted.
Yeah, so let me just add this. You can let product design. It's a little kind of similar to UI UX, but they call it product design. So product design is like you having to build how the site or website or something will look like before the coding part of it will come in. So you are basically a tech person, like you are even techie, but you are not writing code. What you are doing is you are playing with Figma, you are putting one design here. If you are someone that like color and you like shape, please go for product design. You even be top, like you are top kick, you are hot kick in the market when you learn product design. So it's a skill that you should learn. Thank you.
Esther, we can't hear you. You are breaking. Okay. Can we all hear me?
I can hear you. I think Esther network is bad. Kind of, sort of.
Yes. Okay. There's a question I will answer why she reconnects her network. So
I would have loved to direct the same question to you.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, why the recognition comes in, we have a question here that says, what advice do you have for staying motivated and consistent when learning gets tough? What advice do you have for staying motivated and consistent when learning gets tough? Stuck. I'll be tough. Yeah. Now, I mentioned something earlier on. I said you should have a drive within you even before you start. There is that thing that drives you. You know, when some rich people are talking about their story, they will say something like they are tired of poverty. They used to say that thing very well. They are tired. I am tired. I got tired of poverty and I took this step. It is a drive. It is a drive. They got tired of poverty and they took that step. Now, something will drive you. It can either be the interest you have in that thing, or just because you want to explore that particular field. Now, even though there is something that drives you, the truth of the matter is there is still a point in time the journey will get very tough. Yes, it won't be a sugar and oil anything all throughout. It will get to a point the journey will get very tough. Now, how can you stay motivated or consistent in situations like that? See, when you are learning, especially in tech, if it's getting tough, the best thing is, yes, leave it. Take a break. 3 days break, 1 week break. Yes, take a break. That break will do a lot of good for you than bad. Don't force it. Don't even try to force it. Don't force tech. If it's getting tough, if it's getting into your head, if you are not, just take a break. Take a 1 week break. Come back to it. Take a 3 days break. Come back to it. The consistency will build up. Make sure your interest in it is also still there. That thing that drove you in the first instance to pick it up, always think back to it. And I know I can't stop this thing. Let me just continue. That way, you will always, like, it's like as if you want to see the things of your hand. You want to see the work of your hand, what you built. It is always a joy for me when I see people using what I worked on. I always feel proud. Trust me, that alone always gets in my head that, no, I can't stop. So you need that. Make sure your own personal interest, you don't allow it to die down. Don't let anything disturb it. You can create a timetable. Try to always deceive your brain. There's something I used to do. If I get home and I'm tired, I will tell my brain, I still did it yesterday. I will tell my brain that, let me just open my laptop and do this thing for 15 minutes. That is what I told my brain. My brain won't feel scared. Maybe it's just 15 minutes. But I am glad to tell you that 15 minutes will gradually turn into 2 hours without me knowing. As I'm talking to you, I still did it yesterday. Yes, I went on a journey. I was supposed to come back and rest. I still spent over 3 hours in front of laptop just because I told the brain, okay, let me just check this thing for 10 minutes. You will totally trick it, even though your mind knows that it's a lie, but your brain will be tricked. Try that method. Okay, let me just check this thing for 10 minutes. You won't know when you will continue for an hour. Yes. So that way you will always be consistent. That is the truth. There is no way you put all those things into mind. You will always be consistent, and you feel motivated, like, okay, if I do this thing, this is the result I will get. So let me continue doing it. Have an end result. Schedule, like, put out a plan, what you want to achieve with whatever you are doing. If you are thinking about that thing that you want to achieve, it will also help you in staying motivated. It will really greatly help you in staying motivated. So I want to believe that question is answered. The question is, what advice do you have for staying motivated and consistent when learning gets tough? The last point in that question, the last point and very important point is, please eat. Yes, eat. Eat and take a lot of water. They will really also help you to stay motivated, even in the long run. It's important. So celebrate little wins. Celebrate little wins. Whatever little thing you do, even if you're unable to showcase it to anybody, celebrate it within yourself. I did this. Wow. I did this. Wow. Celebrate it. I always feel happy when you do something and you see results, even if the result is little. If I work on something and it doesn't work, the fact that I work on that thing, I made researches as to how to do it, is a joy to me, even though it hasn't worked. So please always celebrate little wins. With little wins comes greater wins. Or how did they used to say that statement? But yes, please. And while doing everything, like I said, eat and take a lot of water. Everything will be good. So I want to it's answered.
Yes, well answered. Thank you so much. Our time is fast spent. Although we still have quite a number of questions, but our time is fast spent and we have to stay. We have to stay on time. We'll have sessions like this in the long run. So do well to stay in the loop. We've dropped some link, and here's the link to drop your feedback concerning the session. How will you rate the session so far? And I'll also be dropping a link as regards if you want to stay connected to us as we have sessions like this, and also for our forthcoming bootcamp. We've mentioned bootcamp, we've mentioned trainings. How you can actually break into tech. So we have our bootcamp, and if you want to get more information about that, we drop a link. Just do want to drop your details. Yes, you can also reach out to us in terms of consultation. I'm not really sure of which particular part, although both of them, they sound interesting, and you are yet to still make a decision on which one to take, or probably you are not into coding, just like the question that was asked. I'm not really into coding, but I actually want to break into tech, and I'm not really sure which one to go to, even after making a lot of research. Yeah, it can be so. You can also reach out to us in that as regards consultation. I've dropped the link. Do also drop your details. We can as well reach out to you. Drop your details, your email, whatever thing that you want to give to us. In terms of how we can help you, you can do well to drop that. And as for our bootcamp, that is forthcoming, just do well to stay in the loop. And also, we have free mentorship session. This is not a one-off. We are not just doing this and then off. We have sessions like this and forthcoming. Just do well to just stay in the loop, and then we'll get the session. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayowa and Mr. Olayemi, for the wonderful session that you have with us. how to understand our strengths to start with, how to stay curious, how to be interested in what we do, very interesting, and then the challenge of being indecisive, and then also coming up with a solution of getting mentorship, which we offer at Best Technology, attend boot camps, celebrate wins, very, very important. And then also the tools that we should, build on, which we start with and we should build on, very, very important. Thank you very much, everybody. Do want to drop your feedback before you leave. And then, yes, just be on the loop in the email, and then we'll get back to you as any of our forthcoming programs as possible. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, our speaker, for joining in. And we hope to see more of you. We hope to see more of our faces and more of our presence in this session as well. And it's a win-win for us. I hope you got something interesting. You can just do what to drop it in the comment section, something that resonated with you or any feedback you have for us. You can just do what to drop it in the comment section. And I guess this is where we say goodbye to each and every one of us. Bye for now, and do have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much for coming. Goodbye.
Thank you too.
Thank you very much for coming. Bye bye.